Hey there everyone, this is Rambling Collector here, and welcome back to a new Real Talk. I know that it's been a while since I've done one of these, the last two being booktuber tags, but I thought I'd go back to the roots, talking about something very real and something that we see throughout our daily lives, something that is acknowledged but never really spoken of, except in hushed whispers or to a private confidant. We're talking about the subject of behind the mask. Now, for those of you who are curious, keep on listening. But for those of you who know what I'm talking about, strap yourselves in and let me know if what I'm talking about is either complete baloney or if you understand it. So, let's talk about it. So how many of you throughout your day-to-day life, you see someone who is incredibly cheerful? They seem like the life of the party, the person who is out there making friends, doing daring things. He's always with this bright smile on their face. And you must think to yourself, this must be the most positive person in the world, that nothing can ever possibly bring them down, that no matter what, they will face the world with a smile on their face, a laugh on their lips, and nothing will be able to stop them. And yet how often do we wonder whether what that person is showing is the real face, or whether or not it is simply a cover, a mask? How many times now have you wondered that about somebody? You could be in the most miserable job imaginable, whether it's office work, medical care, or even just the mundane day-to-day. How often do people have to slip on that mask to hide their emotions, to hide the despair that grows inside of them? How often must they put on the happy face so as not to worry those close to them? How many times must they do so to give off the image of, I'm fine, there's nothing you need to worry about, I can take care of it? But on the inside, though, you are desperate for someone to notice. You are desperate for someone to see the real emotions roiling behind that happy face. You are boiling on the inside with anger, sadness, despair even, or depression, or even worse, very, very dark thoughts that you would rather not voice. How many of you have ever dealt with that? And I wonder, just how long can you keep the mask up? For as long as those who wear the mask they are accepted by society. They want to waylay the fears of all those who care about them. They don't want the people they care about to worry about their problems. They want to be there for their friends, their family, any of their loved ones. But they don't want any attention on them to their problems, because they believe their problems do not matter, that in the grand scheme of life, they are a mere insignificant pebble. And so long as they can put on that happy face, they can make somebody else's day that much brighter. But on the inside, you feel yourself slowly dying, as you cannot remove that mask for the fear that it will drive away everyone you care about, believing that they could not handle the sheer emotions you hold on to on the inside. That if you let the mask slip, even for just a moment, you will drive everyone away, and you will be truly left alone. Better to keep a full smile on your face, right? It's better to keep the mask on rather than let it drop even for a fraction of a second. But just how long can you keep it up? How long before you eventually reach that point of no return where you just can't keep it up anymore? Where all the negative emotions of anger, sadness, despair, desperation, all of which come bubbling to the surface. How much longer until you cannot hold them in? And how often do people actually ask about you? For you must think about it. Those of us who wear a mask have to be some of the strongest people you will have ever met, putting aside their own emotional needs and wants for what they believe is the betterment of others, but at the cost of themselves. The martyr complex, one of the worst things you can ever see, believing that your life in the long run does not matter, that so long as you can make others happy, that you can make a difference, that you matter just for that moment. But at the end of the day, your wants and needs do not come before everyone else's. That mask eventually will kill you. But the worst part is learning when it is okay to take it off, knowing that it is okay to let it drop, even for a moment. It's that constant nagging fear in your mind that you just simply cannot let it drop. But before you know it, the mask breaks. People see even a fraction of the emotions you hold, and it terrifies them. But more than anything, it worries them. Because then they begin to wonder, how long has this person been holding on to this much emotion, this much sadness, this much anger? But the thing is, a lot of us wear a mask to protect ourselves, believing that in the end of the day, no one would care about our own emotions. That no matter what, our emotions do not matter. And at the end of the day, who would really care? So long as we can keep on the mask, we'll fit right in. No one ever has to worry. No one ever has to give us the strange looks wondering what exactly is going through our head. Why do we never smile? All of that. I myself have actually done something like this, and there are a lot of moments that I still do. I put on the happy face, wanting to make sure that everyone knows that I'm okay. I'm fine. There's nothing to worry about, right? I can handle it. I'm an adult. I'm strong. But it is so hard sometimes to drop that. I remember going through school, holding on to this, holding on to that mask of just this aloofness, this character who's constantly goofing off, having the time of their life, or even just staying out of the way, not wanting to get on anyone's bad side, fearing that anything that I say could come back to bite me. How many of you have ever felt like that? That constant nagging fear of even letting your emotions out, even for a moment. You gotta keep on the mask, right? You have to make sure your parents, your siblings, your friends, schoolmates, classmates, school friends, all of them, you want to make sure that none of them can see the real turmoil. How many of you have felt that way? How many of you still hold on to that mask, but you can feel it slipping further and further? And here's the thing. If you or someone you know, if you recognize that they are holding on to that mask, if it seems that they're a little off, that something about them seems so fake, don't confront them about it. Do not ever confront them, as that will only raise up their protective barriers even more. What you need to do is approach them with kindness. Tell them that you know something is wrong, and you know that it's a lot. Reassure them, though, that they are not alone, that they don't have to bear the burden by themselves. And I know that sounds like positive thinking. That sounds like optimistic idealism. But sometimes that's the truth. That's all some of us may need. Just that reassurance that we aren't alone, that if we need somebody we can talk to, that the first person to notice that what we are holding on to is painful, a burden, and giving us that chance to finally just let all those emotions out. That is what matters most. Sometimes that's all we need. And believe me, as someone who has found that person, I can tell you right now, it is one of the greatest reliefs I have ever felt. Knowing that even if just for a few moments, or a day, or an hour, or anything, I can finally take it off, let all the emotions out, and just breathe. That I'm not suffocating anymore on this false facade that I have to hold on to, that you have to hold on to. Even if it's just that one person, treasure them dearly, for they alone can see the person behind the mask, and they know you are hurting. And to all of you who can see this, I pray you know just how important you are to that person, that you alone can help them to be vulnerable, even for a moment, just a single moment. If it's just for a moment, an hour, whatever you can give them, giving them that moment to finally just drop all their defenses, it is one of the greatest reliefs you can give that person, to finally tell them, you don't have to wear it around me. You can take it off. And you will have given that person one of the greatest gifts imaginable. But I know, for some of you, it is painful. It is hard to let those defenses go. It's hard when you have worn it for years to take off the mask. And I hope to those of you who are struggling with this, that you have that chance. That you have even just that one infinitesimal moment to finally let it drop, to finally take it off. I hope you finally find that bit of happiness you need to take it off, to release your masks. And a lot of times, it is a deep defense that we hold on to. Don't let them hold on to it until it breaks. Thank you for listening.